So I just got done watching Louis Theroux's Inside the Manosphere, and what I saw in that documentary is disappointing. As a man, I don't really know how to feel about that exactly. I don't really know what sort of message we're putting out there to young male youth in terms of how they should act and what sort of values they should aspire to, and in terms of what sort of life we should ultimately be projecting as an image of success and so on, or like what constitutes an image of success for these young men who follow people like what are the names even of these masculine influencers that Through interviewed is Sneeko is one of them, then it's a Myron Gaines, is it? And HS Tiki Toki, Harrison Sullivan. And I've done a little bit of digging because I had no idea who these people were before I watched the documentary, but they have millions and millions of followers on the big social media platforms. Some have even been banned from, traditional social or like the standard social media platforms because their messages are too extreme. They're going on about things like "fuck the Jews" as an international Jewish conspiracy, and extremely misogynistic content. Saying like this hyper conservative pseudo religiosity invoked there as well. I think in their message that the man should be the head of the household, and the woman should be subservient to the man at all times, and it's the woman's job to cook and clean and raise children and these sorts of things, and the man is supposed to be dominant in the household and to have a successful career and so on, and be making lots of money, crucially. And these people, yeah, they have lots of money, they have lots of influence, and they have lots of money. It's really, really interesting. Like they get their money via basically scamming 14-year-old boys out of their pocket money. And yeah, they set up all these sorts of things like that with like false investment firms. This is what Harrison Sullivan is doing. This HS Tiki Toki guy, he's got like an investment group going on where, if you invest in his company or give him your money, he'll invest it for you and he'll make you into a multimillionaire and so on. And obviously for the overwhelming, well, for nobody, I imagine, who is stupid enough to put their money into, that's like most 14-year-old boys would be, I think. Or like you can't imagine, yeah, like the 14-year-old mindset really being that attuned to financial markets and things, that they, yeah, just get someone else to invest their money for them and lose a lot of money in the process, like so many people do, I think. And then there's the crowd selling dating advice to young men, to boys who don't, have no idea how to approach a girl and whatnot and ask them out. And yeah, well, the thing about that level of things, very often you can give advice that works. You can give advice that's going to get you laid a lot. If you talk to 100 women, you probably are going to get laid with one of them. If you've got that level of confidence and you can really put yourself through so much rejection, and it might be 99 rejections until one lady accepts you. And like, well, you might just come across, eventually, if you just try hard enough and often enough, it will happen for you. Yeah, I think most of us, though, when it comes to like mere sexual gratification, I'd like to think that most men aren't like that. I really would. And I think that we like try to attune ourselves to higher pursuits in life more often and invest our time and energy into those things rather than, just getting laid and so on, or scamming people out of their money and riding around in um well, is it Marbella, where a lot of these people were living, and they're just like driving around in fast cars, partying, and like doing videos. uh, and that's what we're telling young men that they need to aspire to. Not hard, meaningful work of some description, or even like a more traditional like frame of how we think of success, growing up to become a doctor or a lawyer or something like this. You know, that's quite a traditional mode of how success is seen. But if you know, if we can go on to become something like that, then that sort of traditionally does mean we're successful, you know. But it's nothing like that. It's bling, fast cars, hot women, exotic locations, or just a location in Spain. Don't know. Well, Marbella, is it exotic as such? I don't know. It's fairly culturally similar to what we have in Britain, but uh, this is surface level stuff, and it's exonerating basically, like, for these people, these influencers, more or less a life of crime. They're more or less fraudsters. Or I think we should have tighter regulations on our fraud laws to try and prevent these people starting these investment package groups or whatever it is in the first place, and stop them basically scamming young men out of their money. And yeah, you should come down harder on them, because it portrays masculinity at its worst. Like, men have done incredible things in history. Really, we have. We've done extraordinary things. You know, we've discovered the laws of motion, and we invented the computer and stuff like this, and penicillin, and you know, all the great inventions. Electromagnetism is mostly a male phenomenon that we came up with, and yeah, like, there's great things about being a man. I think it's fantastic. It's incredibly freeing, liberating. You can do all sorts of things as long as you don't get yourself mired in too much responsibility. But yeah, we should aspire to higher things as men than what these little prats with their YouTube channels think is important. That's the basic message of this video. It's a very good documentary by Louis Theroux. We should attempt to be more like Louis Theroux, I think. Calm, detached, objective, questioning, curious, intelligent. You know, we should be more like him, obviously. He's not a false image of masculinity, I don't think. He's one of our finer men. And yeah, don't attempt to be like the idiots that he puts in his documentaries. So yeah, I think there's 8 minutes to make that point. I don't know. That was long enough, probably. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Love you lots as always. See you soon.